There comes a time in every soul's journey when they can no longer afford to be available to the world in the same way. Not in the way they used to be, spreading themselves thin, chasing validation, trying to fill a hole they couldn't see, pretending that their worth was dependent on others. Something deep within begins to stir, a voice so quiet, yet so undeniable. It whispers, "Enough. No more." Not like this. In this moment, you stand at a threshold, at the edge of your own life. You feel it, the yearning for something more, something real, something grounded. The part of you that has been overshadowed by external demands, by people, by expectations, all of it starts to dissolve. And what remains is your truest self. Jung understood this moment, the crossroads of transformation. He spoke of the need to reclaim the lost parts of the self, the parts hidden in shadow, buried beneath the weight of societal pressure and the lies we tell ourselves about who we should be. When you stop being available to the world's demands, you make space. Space for something deeper. Space for the truth of who you are. And that truth is not a version of you that conforms. It is the part of you that breaks free. The world around you will try to tell you that being available, being accessible, being constantly open is the way to live. It will tell you that the key to success is to be there for everyone, to sacrifice your time, your energy, your peace. But in that sacrifice, something is lost. A part of you is given away, until one day, you look in the mirror and don't even recognize the person staring back. Because in trying to meet the expectations of everyone else, you stopped meeting the needs of your own soul. Jung called this the persona, the mask we wear to please others, to fit in, to be seen as acceptable. But that mask, as comforting as it may seem, is not you. And the longer you wear it, the more disconnected you become from the authentic, raw, powerful being that you truly are. So when you stop being available, something extraordinary happens. You reclaim your life. You reclaim your power. You reclaim yourself. It doesn't mean you abandon others. It means you stop abandoning yourself. When you stop being available to the demands of the world, you open up to the only thing that truly matters, the call of your own spirit. That call is always there, but it can only be heard in silence. It's in the stillness, when the world fades away, that the truth reveals itself. You were never meant to be spread thin, never meant to be everything to everyone. You were meant to be everything to yourself, and when that happens, something shifts. The people around you, the ones who once relied on you for validation or support, will sense it. They will feel the change, even if they can't articulate it. They will see you becoming more grounded, more centered, more whole. And they will either rise to meet you in that space, or they will fall away. But this is not a loss. It is a necessary part of the process. Because when you stop being available, you stop allowing others to drain you, to project their needs and expectations onto you. You stop living in reaction to the world and begin living from a place of intention. And that intention is the very thing that attracts the right people, the right opportunities, the right life. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, works in mysterious ways. When you reclaim your energy, when you stop offering it to everything and everyone, you begin to magnetize what is meant for you. This is the law of attraction, but it is not some superficial formula. It is the law of energetic alignment. The more you align with who you truly are, the more the right things flow effortlessly into your life. Because you have made space for them, you begin to understand that your time, your energy, your attention, these are your most sacred resources. And when you stop giving them away without purpose, you protect the sanctity of your soul. You stop existing for the world and start existing for yourself, and it's in this space of intentional living that you begin to flourish. When you stop being available, you start becoming available for something far more powerful, your deepest desires, your wildest dreams, your soul's truest path. Jung was adamant that the journey toward the self was not a passive one. It requires active engagement with the unconscious, with the shadow, with the parts of ourselves that we try to hide. It is in confronting these darker aspects of ourselves that we find our true light. And when you stop being available to the distractions of life, when you no longer run from the discomfort of facing who you really are, you unlock a power that cannot be taken away from you. You see, when you stop being available, you stop settling. You stop letting fear or insecurity dictate your choices. You stop compromising your truth. You realize that the only thing that truly matters is your inner peace. And from that peace comes clarity. From that clarity comes purpose. And from that purpose, you step into your power. The world will always try to pull you in 1,000 directions, asking you to give, to please, to sacrifice. But when you learn to stop, to say no, to take a step back and reclaim your own energy, everything changes. You no longer fear missing out. You no longer fear the judgments of others. You no longer fear rejection. You are no longer available to the opinions of those who don't understand your journey. You are no longer available to the noise. And in that absence, you create room for your own truth, and when that truth takes root, it grows. It grows in silence. It grows in solitude. It grows in the spaces you've created by refusing to be available to the distractions. And as it grows, so too does your power. You become a force, not because you try, but because you simply are, and this is when the magic begins to unfold. The people, the experiences, the opportunities that once eluded you, they begin to find you. Not because you chase them, but because you no longer need them. You've become whole in yourself. And when you stop needing, the world offers up everything you've ever dreamed of. You stop chasing approval, and you start living authentically. You stop waiting for permission, and you start creating. You stop seeking love in others, and you start finding it within yourself. And in doing so, you become the living example of what it means to truly be. To be unapologetically yourself. To be complete in your own right. The more you stop being available to the world's demands, the more you make yourself available to the truth that resides within you. The more you make yourself available to your own greatness, to your own potential, to your own power. And in that space of being fully, unapologetically available to yourself, everything begins to change. The world responds differently. Relationships transform. Opportunities flow. You find yourself stepping into a version of you that you never thought possible. A version that is aligned, grounded, and unshaken by the storms of life. When you stop being available, everything changes. But it doesn't just change for you. It changes for everyone around you. Because in reclaiming your own power, you teach others how to do the same. You become the lighthouse in a storm. The beacon of self-empowerment that reminds others that they too have the ability to reclaim their lives. You stop being available for the lies. You stop being available for the chaos. You stop being available for anything that pulls you away from your soul's truth. And in doing so, you create a life that is a reflection of who you truly are, a life that is unapologetically yours. And once you experience this, once you step into the truth of your own power, there is no turning back. Because you will never again be available to anything that does not honor your soul. You will never again settle for less than you deserve. And you will never again allow the world to dictate who you are. Because when you stop being available, you finally become available to your true self. And as you move forward in this new space, with clarity and conviction, you begin to witness the subtle yet powerful shift in your reality. It's not immediate, it's not instant. But slowly, things start to change. You begin to realize that the effort you once put into pleasing others, into seeking approval, into running after external validation, was a drain on your energy, a siphoning of your life force. But now, that energy is yours again. You feel it within you, this resurgence of power that was always there but buried beneath the weight of external expectations. You've reclaimed your worth. You've reclaimed your autonomy. And with this comes a quiet, unshakable confidence. It's not loud, not brash, not desperate. It's a deep knowing that you don't need anything outside of yourself to validate who you are. This confidence isn't about arrogance. It's not the ego flaunting its strength. No, it's much more profound. It's the certainty that you are enough, not because of what you do or what you have, but simply because you are. The pressure to perform, to meet standards, to prove yourself, it evaporates. And in its place, a calm stillness emerges. A stillness that is rooted in the understanding that you are always whole, no matter what the world throws your way. As you embrace this, you start to see the world with new eyes. You stop judging yourself by the standards of others. You stop comparing your journey to theirs. And this is liberating. You no longer feel the need to fit into anyone's mold, to chase someone else's vision of success, to follow a path that was never meant for you in the first place. Your vision becomes your own. And it is clear. It is focused. It is not distracted by the noise of the world. And with this clarity comes an understanding that you are the creator of your own life. You hold the pen and you write the story. The world no longer has the power to dictate how you live, how you feel, how you act. You are in charge, and the people around you feel it. You may not even realize it at first, but the energy shifts. Those who once took from you your time, your attention, your energy, will begin to notice that something is different. And some will resist it. They will try to pull you back into their orbit, to make you available again. To make you fit into the role they've assigned to you. But this is the test. Will you go back? Will you let the world's demands control you again? Or will you stand firm, unwavering, in the truth of who you are? Will you stay rooted in your decision to no longer be available to anything that drains your spirit, that robs you of your peace? This is the moment where your growth is truly tested. The universe, the world, life itself will continue to push, to pull, to tempt you to revert to old patterns. But with every challenge, you become stronger. With every temptation, you become clearer. You stand tall and unshaken because you know the price of being available to everything and everyone. You know the cost of giving yourself away. And you know that nothing is worth losing yourself again. The world will always present new distractions, new crises, new demands on your time. But when you stop being available to everything that is not aligned with your highest purpose, you begin to find yourself in the flow of your own life. A life that is no longer reactive, but proactive. A life that is no longer driven by the need to please, but by the need to honor your own truth. And in that flow, the magic begins. The synchronicities. The doors that open when you least expect them. The people who enter your life, not because you needed them, but because you were ready to meet them. You no longer chase anything. You simply allow the universe to deliver what is meant for you. And when it does, it is far greater than anything you could have imagined. Because you have stopped settling. You see, when you stop being available, you stop living in scarcity. You stop acting as though there is not enough for you, as though you need to grab at everything in desperation. You stop acting from a place of lack. You stop clinging. You stop striving. Instead, you begin to live from a place of abundance. Abundance in your thoughts, your emotions, your time, your energy, and most importantly, your love. Because love is not something you give away in pieces, hoping that it will return. Love is something that flows from a well that is already full. And when your well is full, you give without depletion. You give from a place of overflow, and this is the beauty of the transformation that occurs when you stop being available. You stop draining yourself. You stop overextending. You stop sacrificing your soul for the sake of others. And in doing so, you find that what you need comes to you, naturally, effortlessly. Because you are no longer available for the wrong things, you make room for the right ones. This process, this reclaiming of your time, your energy, your spirit, is not about becoming a hermit or withdrawing from the world. It is about discernment. It is about knowing where your energy should flow and where it should not. It is about learning to say no with grace and to say yes only to those things that align with your highest self. And when you practice this, when you become the keeper of your own energy, your life transforms. Relationships become clearer. You stop attracting people who drain you. You stop tolerating toxicity. You stop accepting less than what you deserve. And as a result, the people who come into your life are aligned with your frequency. They bring with them growth, joy, and mutual respect. As you step into this space, the universe responds. The world will still throw challenges your way, that is the nature of life. But now, you stand firm, unshaken. Because you know that you are no longer available for anything that doesn't serve your soul. And in this realization, your power is limitless. You have become the master of your own life. You are the one who decides where your energy goes, how you spend your time, who you give your attention to. And when you stop being available to everything that drains you, you make space for the life you've always dreamed of. The life you were always meant to live. As you stand in this newfound power, you begin to see the subtle shifts that happen within you, within your environment. The people who once took and took, who didn't recognize your worth, may no longer remain in your orbit. They might withdraw, or perhaps, they'll try to push harder, desperate to pull you back into the old patterns. But now, you know. You understand. You recognize the price of those connections, and this understanding does not come with guilt. It does not come with shame. It comes with peace, because you know that to protect your energy is not selfish, it is necessary. It is an act of self-love. You are not meant to be at the mercy of others' demands. You are not meant to be constantly available, constantly seeking approval, constantly giving away pieces of your soul. When you stop being available, you allow space for real relationships. Not the kind built on dependence or expectation, but the kind built on mutual respect and shared vision. The kind that nurtures, that feeds your growth, not drains it. The kind that recognizes the unique essence within you, the one that you've worked so hard to uncover, the one you've spent so many years protecting. It is in this space that true freedom resides. You stop looking to the external world for validation. You stop seeking external rewards for your inner worth. Instead, you find that the most powerful validation comes from within. The most fulfilling reward is knowing that you are true to yourself, not bound by external validation, not influenced by the opinions of others, but anchored in the truth of who you are. This is where your real power lies, in the space you create by saying no. The power to choose. The power to carve out the life that is yours. No one can take that from you. No one can control your energy unless you allow it. And when you stop being available, you realize something profound. You are not just protecting yourself from external forces, you are actively protecting your creative potential. You are making space for the energy that fuels your dreams, your ambitions, your deepest desires. No longer distracted by the noise of a world that demands, you can hear the voice of your soul more clearly. You can finally listen to what it has to say. What is it that you've been suppressing? What is it that you've been pushing aside in order to meet the expectations of others? What dreams have you sacrificed for the sake of pleasing, for the sake of fitting in, for the sake of being available? When you stop being available, you open the door to these desires. You make space for them to breathe, for them to grow, for them to be realized. You stop letting other people's definitions of success dictate your own. You stop allowing the world's judgments to shape your path. Instead, you begin to walk your own way, your own truth, without fear or hesitation. And it is here, in this sacred space, that you find your power. The strength to say no when necessary. The wisdom to say yes only when aligned with your higher purpose. The resilience to stay true to yourself in the face of external pressure. You become a creator of your reality, not a follower of the crowd. This is not just about saying no to others, it is about saying yes to yourself. It is about prioritizing your own well-being, your own growth, your own soul's evolution. It is about recognizing that you are worthy of peace, of joy, of love that is unconditional, that is free from manipulation or neediness. The more you protect your energy, the more you nurture your own self, the more you will attract the people, the opportunities, and the experiences that truly align with your highest self. You will find that the right relationships, the right opportunities, will begin to flow into your life with ease. Because you are no longer available for anything less than what you deserve. You are no longer available for the distractions, the toxic energy, the things that drain your spirit. You have created the space for the beauty, the growth, the joy that life has to offer. It's a shift that happens not just externally, but internally. You no longer chase after life. Life comes to you. You no longer bend yourself out of shape to fit into a mold. You stand in your truth, and the world begins to align itself with your vision. Your power is not in your availability, but in your willingness to remain true to yourself. The world responds not to your efforts to please it, but to your efforts to be true to your essence. And it is here, in this space of power, that you begin to understand the depth of your own existence. You see yourself as more than just a reaction to the world. You see yourself as a creator, as someone whose energy and presence have a profound impact on the world around them. You are no longer passive. You are active. You are not just a participant in life, you are a force in it. You will face challenges, of course. The world will continue to push. It will test your boundaries. But every test is a reminder of your strength. Every test is an opportunity to deepen your commitment to yourself. The more you stand in your truth, the more you will grow, not just in your personal life, but in every area of your existence. So remember this, when you stop being available to everything and everyone that drains your energy, you begin to step into the full power of who you are. You stop being a puppet of external forces, and you start being the creator of your own story. You stop waiting for life to happen to you, and you start making life happen for you. And in doing so, everything changes. The world around you, once chaotic and demanding, begins to soften. The noise fades into the background as you step into a rhythm that is your own. It is not the frantic pace set by others, nor is it the pressure of constantly meeting external demands. Instead, it is a steady, grounded beat, one that pulses with the energy of your soul, one that knows exactly where it is going because it is no longer swayed by the confusion of the crowd. This shift is like a reclamation of time itself. No longer do you spend your hours running after things that do not serve you, running after people who do not understand you, running after approval that is hollow. Time, once lost to distractions, becomes a precious ally. You spend it on what matters most, the deep work that nourishes your spirit, the quiet moments of reflection that bring you closer to your truest self, the actions that propel you towards your most meaningful goals. And as you begin to walk this path, with each step you take, the world becomes more clear. The distractions that once seemed so urgent no longer hold their grip on you. They fade into the background as you focus on what is truly important, your growth, your peace, your purpose. And in that space, everything aligns. You begin to see how every decision you make matters. Every thought, every feeling, every action begins to reflect the new you, the you that no longer seeks validation, the you that no longer chases the approval of others, the you that knows your worth and stands firm in it. And as you stand firm, you begin to attract those who resonate with your energy. You no longer need to search for your tribe, for your people, because they will come to you. They will recognize the frequency you are vibrating at, the frequency of self-empowerment, of self-worth, of authenticity. They will see you for who you truly are, and they will be drawn to you not because you are available to them at all costs, but because you are deeply connected to yourself. These relationships are not based on need, but on mutual respect and growth. You no longer tolerate toxic people, toxic environments, or toxic relationships. You no longer feel the need to please everyone, to be everything to everyone. You are selective. You know that your energy is precious, and you will not waste it on anything or anyone that does not honor your worth. The relationships you cultivate now are those that inspire, uplift, and challenge you to grow. And in this new space, you begin to find that the more you honor your energy, the more it expands. The more you protect your peace, the more it multiplies. This is the law of attraction at its purest form. When you stop being available for the wrong things, the right things have no choice but to come into your life. But it's not just about attracting the right people and opportunities. It's also about attracting the right experiences. When you stop being available for the chaos, the drama, the unnecessary stress, you begin to experience life in a new way. Your moments become richer, more fulfilling. You begin to see beauty in the small things, in the quiet moments, in the stillness of your own company, in the simple acts of living that once went unnoticed. It's a slow transformation, a shift that happens over time, but once it begins, it cannot be undone. You cannot go back to the way things were, to the old patterns of behavior, to the old mindset that had you constantly trying to prove your worth, constantly looking for approval, constantly running in circles, because you have now tasted something far more powerful than anything you were ever chasing before. You have tasted the freedom of being yourself, and once you have tasted that freedom, nothing else will satisfy you. No external validation, no praise, no approval can ever compare to the peace that comes from within. The world may continue to push and pull, but you stand strong. You stand rooted in who you are, and nothing and no one can take that from you. In fact, the more you stand in your truth, the more the world begins to respond. People may try to pull you back, to make you available again, to make you fit into their expectations of who you should be. But now you know, now you see. You no longer fit their mold, and you never will again. You will not shrink. You will not settle. You will not make yourself small just to fit in. Instead, you make space for your true self. The self that is expansive, that is bold, that is radiant with authenticity. And when you radiate that energy, the right people, the right experiences, and the right opportunities are magnetized to you. You no longer have to chase. Life finds you, and when it does, it brings you exactly what you need, no more, no less. And this is the most profound part of the journey, the understanding that when you stop being available for everything that is not aligned with your purpose, you stop living in scarcity. You stop living in fear. You stop living in the belief that there is not enough. Instead, you live in abundance. You live in trust. You live in the knowledge that what is meant for you will find you, or not because you are available to it at all costs, but because you are worthy of it. So, from this place of knowing, you no longer need to search. You no longer need to prove. You no longer need to chase. Because everything you need, everything you desire, is already on its way. It's coming to you. You are the magnet. You are the creator. And you are fully aligned with the life you were always meant to live. This is the true power of stopping being available. It is not about isolation. It is about alignment. It is not about cutting yourself off. It is about cutting off the things that do not serve you. It is about protecting your peace so that you can make room for what truly matters. It is about standing in the fullness of who you are, unapologetically and unshakably. It is about knowing your worth and letting that knowing guide you every step of the way. And when you live from this place, nothing and nobody will ever have the power to hurt you again. You will no longer be available to anything that takes from you. You will no longer be available to anything that depletes you. You will no longer be available for anything that does not honor your highest self. You will stand tall. You will stand firm. You will stand in the power of your own truth. And from this place, everything changes.